This is not a Pax Romana Messiah. This is not a Pauline Messiah. This is a Palestinian Messiah. And that's why I think the scrolls are so important for Jews and Christians. Yeah. To understand what was really happening in Palestine. We have a time capsule. We never had documents like this. The rabbinic materials are all against this because they had to survive. They're all following the opponents of Akiba. They want to accommodate to Roman power in order to live. They became the Roman patriarchs in Palestine. Rabbi Yochanan has an arrow shot into Vespasian camps. He wasn't there at that time, Titus was, but he'd already gone back to Rome, Vespasian, but never mind, the symbolism is clear, saying, Rabbi Yochanan is a friend of the emperor. And what's he get? The academy at Yavne. The Jews in the class will understand what the academy at Yavne is. It's where rabbinic Judaism grew up and flourished under Roman protection. Now, see, that's why, maybe I wouldn't be popular in certain quarters. This is not the rabbinic Judaism that grows up under Roman protection. This is the Judaism the Romans destroyed. And everybody in it who wasn't destroyed or sent to slavery, fled or whatever. And we have the Romans following them down into Egypt and across into Cyrenaica, Libya, and by that time they're being called Sicari. And the people who commit mass suicide at the end of Josephus, did you ever get that far? On Masada, I just saw a concert last night on public television on some total fruitcake doing a concert on Masada. Supposed to be some folk singer. It was disgusting. It was a desecration of a holy site. It was like sickening to me to see it. Honestly, I'm sorry to get my emotions out for you. It's like sickening. And they think that's wonderful stuff. That's supposed to be for Hanukkah. It makes you, that's the problem. Jews have to deal with, I would say we Jews have to, I don't like to identify with any group. I try not to say that kind of thing, but that's the problem. They have to deal with this terrible split personality. The same to a certain extent in Christianity, Jamesian Christianity versus Pauline Christianity. It's a similar thing. In any case, the Masada, they all commit suicide, 1,000 people, men, women, and children, rather than surrender, because they want clearly to see their descendants in the resurrection. They bury the bones passages from Ezekiel underneath the synagogue floor. We discovered that in archaeological dig on Masada. So why would they bury the bones passage from Ezekiel underneath the synagogue floor of Masada? That means they believed in resurrection of the dead. That's the only reason I can understand that. The reason they committed mass suicide is they felt that if their children were taken to Rome or became part of the sex trade in America or some such thing like that, and their women were taken and they were, played like Tiberius played with little boys in his swimming pool in Capri, which we've already discussed, nibbling at their sexual parts as they swam by and things of that kind of, I don't say corrupt, what's the word, when you're decadent nature, they'd never see them again in the resurrection. They wanted to be together in the resurrection. I know it's a I don't say forlorn hope, it's a lovely thought. I don't think it's necessarily going to happen for them, but you can admire their courage and their ideology that led them to do that. That's what I'm saying. I just finished writing an article to oppose some of this reinterpretation of trying to say the Gospel of Judas Iscariot isn't important. And I'm writing an article, I'm trying to get it done. I worked all day on it. But one of the presentations of Judas Iscariot's end, he's like the devil person, the epitome of all evil, the traitor, and ultimately it's Judas Maccabee, Judas the Galilean. All these people are being, to some extent, played off of with this presentation of this Iscariot. The only word you have, Sicarios. Iscariot. The sigma and the iota have been reversed, that's all. I mean, the only name that is even close to what Judas Iscariot's name is Sicari. And of course, who's the founder of the Sicarii movement? Judas the Galilean. And Josephus makes it very clear. I didn't have a chance to read you all those passages from Josephus about the first century. But when he starts talking about the founding of the Zealot movement and the Sicarii, a spin-off from it, the Judas the Galilean is the founder of that in 4 BC to 7 AD. Judas Iscariot is portrayed as what? Committing suicide. Hanging himself, according to the Gospels. That's, again, a play on the Masada suicide of Judas the Galilean's movement of the Sicarii that committed mass suicide on Masada. They betrayed the Messiah, you see, according to the Gospels. Yeah, you see, the Messiah is peaceful. The Messiah, I'm not against peacefulness, I'm just trying to tell you what the fight is here. The Messiah believes in loving your enemies. The Messiah believes in rendering under Caesar what is Caesar. And so on and so forth. The Messiah visits Roman centurions. Peter visits Roman centurions. Yeah, but not for Palestinian messianism, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Not in Palestine, maybe overseas. And that's the whole thing. Paul in Romans 13. You know, the wearing of the sword brings its own reward. God gave judgment on behalf of the ruling authorities. Therefore, if you rebel and don't pay tribute to the ruling authorities, you are, you can expect the reward that you can expect. Read Romans 13. It's all in there. That's the form of messianism that he is presenting. It works for the Western world. It doesn't work in Palestine. It's not the scrolls message, put it that way. So these people commit mass suicide on Masada, and then I just finished that trying to show that the Judas Iscariot hanging himself was a play off of that. Anyway, you can disagree or agree. I'm not saying that you have to agree. Okay. So the scepter is the prince of the whole congregation. This is messianic, and the manuscript B makes it clear that it's parallel material. That is the Messiah of Aaron and Israel. And he will utterly destroy all the sons of Seth. Well, that's a very aggressive presentation. So as both finish in column 8, while the backsliders were given, the rest were given over to the avenging sword of the covenant. This is very avenging. And this will be the judgment on those who entered the covenant who did not hold fast. Remember I said the whole thing is holding fast. I don't know how many visitations there are here. Their visitation will be for destruction.